Hello, just when you thought it was safe, we're back. I've got a cup of tea. Not managed to eat my lunch yet, but I have made it. So next stop, lunch will be first on the agenda. I've popped the host code up there. If there is anything that you want to order, don't forget to use the host code when you're going to put in your order, unless your order comes to over £150, in which case you'll get benefits yourself. So don't use the host code. Right, okay, are we ready to take on the world quite literally? Because this time we're going to be looking at the World of Good suite. So I'm just seeing messages popping up. So it looks like Beryl's had luck delivering her order this time round. Woohoo! Because the website, because the shop has launched in lots of places this morning, this new look shop, there's been a few little technical glitches. But it looks like Beryl has overcome them, which is all good news. Okay, the World of Good suite. This one, the last suite that we looked at, was very floral. This one is very definitely a more manly suite. There is no doubt about that. But it is fab. Who have we got? Hi, Andy. Hi, Beryl and Emma and Div. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, yeah, this one is definitely a more masculine feel to this suite. And I love it. So let's have a quick whistle-stop tour of what is in the suite, and then we'll decide what we're going to make with it. So first up, so I'm still searching, trying to find this video. It doesn't appear to be coming live on my Facebook feed, which is a little concerning. I appear to be live with you. I'm just not live on my own Facebook, so I can't share it over. This suite, we get a stamp set. Hello, Harrison. And the Harrison, see? Brain's gone. The stamp set is called Beautiful World, and you have these two globes. Now that's really interesting because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. So if you or where family and things are in the world. If you are in the States, you'll be able to use this globe. If you're here in the UK, in Australia, if you're in Africa or Russia, you'll be able to use this globe. And it's really nice to be able to send, if you're sending cards to somebody on another part of the world as well. That's really nice to be able to have both of those globes there. So, excellent. Eating your lunch, brilliant. So we have two globes. We have this little stand just here for your globe. We've got a couple of squiggles. We've got an inkwell and a quill. We have a compass. We used that yesterday. Too arty-farty for you, Harrison, never mind. And then we've got some lovely greetings. So that's the stamp set, a really nice stamp set. Great if you're scrapbooking, putting together photos of a holiday that you've been on, really useful. So that's the stamp set. The die set that goes with it, we have got, again, two globes. Hello, Sally. We've got two stands. So we've got a little stand here that matches the stamped one. Or we've got this larger stand here that your globe will sit in. We've got a little swirly die just there. That's really lovely. You've got your little inkwell so that you can cut out your stamped inkwell. You can cut out your quill. You've got this nice die here that gives you sort of like a striped effect. I'll show you a card with that on in a minute, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you a card with this on as well. This is a die that doesn't cut, it embosses into the card, and it is actually coordinates. And I did see somewhere, and I should have made a note of them, I should have printed it off. Somebody has actually worked out where all the coordinates are, the map references that are on that little bit of embossed plate just there. And then you've got your circle that will die cut your globes if you've stamped them. So a great combination of stamp set and dies, really good. And we have some lovely papers that I have buried under my schedule. That's not good. So these are the World of Good papers. Now I have been digging into these. So this is a speciality set because there is some brass, not gold, but brass foiling on some of these. So you've got that nice sort of background, splodgy sort of effect of a background. You've got these compasses on the back there. This is a map. This is sort of like the world map with all the creatures and things on it. So like sort of an ancient world map. There's another bit of a map with, and here's the UK just here. Got Peterborough on there and Leicester. Wellingborough is not marked, but we can work out where we are. So that's sort of Europe with that brass foiling on there. And then on the back you've again sort of got this sort of blotchy background on a grid in that bumblebee. I think it's bumblebee, it might be crushed curry, I'll check. I love this one. So that would make a fabulous scrapbook page, wouldn't it? So you've got the sort of printing on the background and then this brass foiling on the top. This is nice. It's sort of like a faded script, as if it's a really well-worn page. These are all your globes, and you've got both globes on there, both sides. So if you did just want to punch out a little bit of one, you can get the right one. You've got this big compass effect on the back there in the green. Got a nice brass grid paper, and then this sort of got this sense of this world map in the background there. So great papers, great backgrounds, not just for using with your stamps and dies, but generally great backgrounds, particularly for men's cards or projects. We have the embossing folder, the old world paper embossing folder. I love, 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 love this embossing folder. It gives you that sort of effect of grunged, crunched up paper that's really, really old and grungy. We've used that a couple of times and I will show you that in a bit. And then this pack also has some memory and more cards with it. So, you know, very different from the last ones. You've got some of foiled ones that are just one-sided. Look at that one, isn't that brilliant? You've got some pop out sort of corners and tags and words, some little stickers, and then you've got like these stickers on here as well with globes and things on them. So there's a foiled one, and then you've got these double-sided ones as well. Life is an adventure, I think the world of you. So you can either use them for card fronts, you can use them as backgrounds, you can stamp on them. Those are the big ones, and then you've got all the little ones as well. You can make them up into memory albums, tag albums in their own right. The world cracks open for those willing to take a risk. Well, that would be a good luck type card, wouldn't it? Somebody going off to university or something. Bucket list. As I said earlier, quite nice for just putting in the post to somebody as almost like a postcard. What a wonderful world. So really good, useful resource to have, to be able to whip up some really easy cards. You can do that in a matter of minutes with the memory and more cards. We've got some embellishments as well. So the ribbon that goes with this set is faux suede, and you need to have a feely vision. You just really need to be able to feel that, because it is fabulous, a lovely textured ribbon. And then the other embellishment we've got in here are these antiqued corners. So sort of brass effect. Oh, where did that one go? You've got some buckles, and you've got some of these corners, and some of the corners have got like this stripe effect on, and some have got more of a swirly effect. So just scrummy. Lots there to work with. Right, let me show you some of the bits that I've played with elements of this suite. And then we'll play with some elements of this suite a bit more. So these ones, we used that old world paper embossing folder, and you can see how you get this really crinkly, scrunched up look that I've torn and inked and splattered on. This one is with the raised bit upwards, this is with the raised bit downwards. Either way works. Really brilliant, and you can see how that works with the idea of maps and globes and those sorts of things. So great stuff. This card here has got the old paper in the background. Can you see on that piece just there where that brass foil has been embossed with that embossed plate just here, has just embossed into that foil. Obviously it'll emboss into card as well. This is this stripy bit just here that gives you this effect, and I've just snipped it off to make it a bit shorter. Here's your die cut swirly bit, and your inkwell and your quill. So that's using all of those. This is using the globe, so I have stamped and embossed that in gold, so that is the stamp embossed in gold. I've die cut a gold stand to sit it in. This is life's a beautiful journey, thank you for being part of mine. So that's two of the greetings from the set. These are some of the papers, and I've used some of the gilded gems that come from the ornate suite, garden suite. And look, you can see the corners, there's a corner there and there's a corner there, and I added some more papers and things inside, and that was actually my anniversary card for my husband. So there we go, new stuff. And then this one, we had the card a little while ago that was on the newsletter that was using the floral suite. This one is exactly the same layout, only this one is using papers from this World of Good suite, and you can see how that suddenly makes it look very different. And we've stuck to those in colours with that cinnamon cider and the misty moonlight, and some black stamping on there. So here's some that we've made earlier. Slurp of tea, and we'll have a go at making some now. Right, now I've picked out some colours. As I say, I haven't got the in colour inks yet. So I've picked out some colours. I've got a Coastal Cabana, a Pacific Point and a Bermuda Bay there. And I've also got a Night of Navy and Soft Suede. So I think I'm going to go, and I'm going to take this quill just here and this inkwell. And we'll cut ourselves a bit of Whisper White card. That measures, let's go 30.9 by 9.5. Okay, and then I think we'll grab a Stamparatus, because we can. Let's take out our apple template and just tuck that down. Down there. And I'm going to sit that so it sits there. Let's do a sort of quick calculation of actually going to need to turn that round, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to bring this, turn it up this way to start with because I want it as a quill, not a feather, and move it along just a smidge. And then we'll have our little inkwell. Sitting underneath just there. I'm going to turn it round this way for now and just move the catalogue out of the way for a minute. Right, open it up onto the right page. And we'll pop our stamp set under there. I'll keep it this way and then you'll be able to see it better. And let's start with, I think we'll start with Coastal Cabana. I'm going to ink up both my feather, my quill and my ink pot with Coastal Cabana. Now I want to go to the other end and do that same colour. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I obviously didn't count properly. About there. Let me just move this along a smidge. And we'll stamp that again. Let me bring in my cleaner. And let's give that a clean. So I'm going to come back one and I'm going to stamp it and ink it up with Bermuda Bay. The nice thing, of course, about using our Stamparatus is if we're not happy with how it inks the first time, we can always go in again. In fact, with that one, it looks like that ink pad is ready to be re-inked. Let's just do that. There we are, much stronger colour now. So we're going to miss one and come here. Oh. And then you can see the difference between those two. Let's ink that up again. And stamp it. Of course, we could have got really fancy pants and we could have had a different colour inkwell. We could have gone multi-tonal on our quills, not just had one colour but had more than one colour. But I think for today let's keep it relatively simple. Lots to do today. Right, so I'm going to need to move it back again and this hopefully will then sit us in the middle. With a Pacific point. Right, let's bring ourselves back to our starting point. I made sure that my cleaner was nice and wet this morning because it's been so warm. I thought it would dry out, but it's not been as warm today. And in fact, at the moment, we've got some rain. So there we have a whole little row of hi Mo, whole little row of quills and inkwells across our card front. Shall we have a congratulations on this new beginning? Let's have that coming across the centre there. Be quite a nice card, wouldn't it, to send to somebody just starting out on a new job, or just going off to a new school, or we'll line that up where we think we would like it to go. I'm going to take the quills off. I could have come in if we wanted to and lined up and done a second one in the middle there and taken it along again, but we won't do that. Not today. That's a job for another day when we're not aiming for 101 different lives in one day. Let's pick that up. Good stuff, not a bad hit. And then I think Beauty Abounds is quite a nice stamp set. Hi Mo, hope you're having a good day. Catalogue launching. We're having a bit of a mad day today. So let's get some ink blots. I've got a post-it note stuck to my foot. That's useful, isn't it? Let's get some ink blots, and let's just add a few in round the edge. We need a couple more just down here, I think. There. Let's just clean off our ink blots from around the edges and pop our Stamparatus to one side for now. And pop the tops on my ink pads and grab some card. I'm going to cut this one to 10 centimetres by 14.4. And then this one we will cut in half this way, so I'm going to cut it at 10.5. Let's get rid of our excess trimmed bits of card from under here, and then we might get on a bit better. That's it. score it at 14.9 this way. I love this colour combination of Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay and Pacific Point. Just like that. Now what I might also do, let's just run some of this just going to grab my bag of Bermuda Bay oddments. Oh, that's Coastal Cabana oddments. There's the Bermuda Bay. I'm going to run this dye in the Big Shot. And you can see how you get, so you could have this actually in a card, staying in a card. You don't necessarily have to take it out. You could have that as a trim on the bottom of the card, but we will cut it. Now we all know that me cutting straight on a trimmer just doesn't happen. Not bad, just needs a bit of trimming up. I'm just going to trim that so it comes in the middle of there. To make that a little bit narrower. Just there, I think. And this is where I could have die cut this and had my double-sided sticky sheet on the back, so that I could have then just peeled it off. Hello, Sam. My glues are all getting quite warm. Hi, Megan. So this one is a very different colourway from what we've seen in the suite in general, which is all the sort of cinnamons, ciders and misty moonlights. This is much brighter. I'm going to grab a couple of find what I'm looking for. Found everything but. I want some pearls. Not that I'm going to put pearls on there necessarily, that would be a little bit odd. But I'm going to go with, I'm going to grab my Bermuda Bay some Bermuda Bay pearly blobs. And we'll scatter some of those around the place. And we'll have one up there. There we are. So that's using the quills and the ink pot out of the stamp set. I've got a pearl that's stuck itself to my finger and does not want to let go. There we go. So that's one card. Let's go for another quick one. And this time let's use our globes. Oh, shall we die cut? Shall we? Shall we stamp? I think let's do a bit of die cutting because we can. So I think what we'll do is let's have the other one. So let's have the globe that's got Europe on. Now, normally the sea colour would be blue and the land colour would be green. So let's go with that. Let's go Mossy Meadow. Let's go really quite dark. Let's go Mossy Meadow and Night of Navy. So I'm going to cut this one from the Mossy Meadow for our land mass. And then I'm going to cut a circle out of the blue to give us our sea in the background. That is the theory. Now for the reality. As I said to you earlier, my plans had been to have lots and lots of samples to show you. The reality is I have very few. So we're creating them as we go. As always on my lives, it's all happening live in every sense of the word. Oh, what did I do with that? I'm not sure what I did with that. Let's try that again. Now that was interesting. I actually ran that through twice and I think I ran it through too much. Right, we're just going to pop out these little bits. Let's grab our brush and there's my thing gone. There it is. Give that a run over. Back of my hand where I keep rubbing my water brush. I've coloured myself in. So we have our blue sea and our green land. Ta-da! Voila! Can't be bad. I think we'll have a bit of a play with some of the new brass foil as well. Now I did somewhere grab a bit of gold foil so that you could see, you'd be able to see the difference. Let me trim a bit off of this foil. And I'll pop this away so it doesn't get too dog-eared. A bit of gold foil that I found was looking particularly dog-eared. I can't see it now. Where's that gone? It's face down, that's why I can't see it. So there's the, I don't know how well this is going to show up. Not very, really. There is very definitely a difference between the brass and the gold. When I was thinking about it earlier, I thought, well, that one's more brassy. Well, yeah, obviously. Would be, wouldn't it? So there is definitely a bit more of a orangey tinge to the brass one. So it is, there is a very definite difference to the gold. Probably a slightly deeper, sort of warmer sort of tone, but really lovely. So I think we will cut, we'll have a stand for our globe, and we'll also cut, while we're there, I will cut a swizzle. Do I want to swizzle? No, I don't want to swizzle with this one. I will cut some more of this of the stripes. So we've got a stand. We've got our stripes that are going on there. Is there anything else I want? And I will cut, I'll emboss this into a piece of the foil as well so that you can see that. So let's chop that off, because we don't necessarily want to put the foil through the big shot that doesn't need to go through the big shot, because you I can cut out the other die, and you really don't want that. So what have we got here? We've got a smiley face on a stick, which we're going to put our globe into. We have got this nice trim just here, and I'm going to trim that off that way. Trim that off that way. And we'll poke those bits out in a minute. And then the other thing we've got is this embossed piece just here. Let me cut that down, which is like a brass plate that you would get. So you've got those coordinates in there. There we go. So some are something east, something north, something. And if I can re-find somebody, as I say, somebody did work out what they are. If I can re-find that. The brass foil is really shiny. It's lovely, isn't it, Mo? Yeah, it is lovely. Right. Let's just get just pop out those little bits there. If you'd got the time and patience, I'm sure there must be something you could do with all these little tiny strips of brass foil there. I have to say that today is not the day that I'm going to be thinking about that. Right, let's put our land on the sea. Get a block and give that a push. Okay, and now we've got our little stand, so I just want to glue this top bit to my globe, and we'll worry about where we're going to stick the rest of it. So now we need to make sure at this point that we're the right way up. And we'll add that in there. Let's take a block again and give that a push. So there, that's beautiful. So we've got that, we've got a brass background, got a bit of brass embossing just there. So what shall we have in the background? I think I'm going to go back to Mossy Meadow. No, not going to get a big enough piece out of that one. Oh, looking more hope. Ooh, not quite. I have an enormous amount of oddments of light of navy. I am trying to be a little bit more, no, not quite. Disciplined in using them up. Oh look, that's actually a card base. Perhaps we'll go with that. We'll use that card base. That is being very good at using it up. Right, I'm going to take that piece of Mossy Meadow. I'm going to grab a Mossy Meadow ink pad. And from our stamp set, I'm going to take the compass. Tummy's really rumbling now. Been a long time since breakfast. And we'll just randomly, tone on tone, put some compasses in the background there. Okay. Now, do we want to go, it won't really matter, this way or this way? I'm going to cut that off, let's say about there. Now there's a bit of embossing coming behind there. Ooh. I'm going to take this, just a strip of paper, and I'm going to run it through our Old World embossing folder, just because I love the Old World embossing folder. We've got to get it in somewhere. So now my bit of card is a scrunched up bit of old card, which I am going to take about there and just tear. So it's now a torn bit of scrunched up card, and we'll sit that let's make this a little shorter again, I think, trial and error. About like that, with our world on the top. Wiggly wiggly, stay. I wonder if at some point we'll get some brass twine or something to go with that foil. That would be rather nice, wouldn't it? Now we need a greeting on there. I love this adventure awaits, but let's have life's a beautiful journey. And then inside you can put thank you for being part of mine. So I think we will grab a Night of Navy ink. And a smidgen of Whisper White card. We'll cut that on an angle. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I'm wondering if that's a bit too starkly white, so I'm going to grab a Night of Navy sponge, and we'll just sponge that round the edges. I didn't want that to curl up particularly, but that's better. That's taken off the starkness of that white. Right, let's build you up, card. And then it'll be time for lunch. So there's our base. we'll put in our brass embossing. It's not the easiest to read, it is that way round. A bit of a gap behind that, a bit of torn paper. Then I think on that we will get some dimensionals on the back of it. Pop it up a little bit. Lose the yellow, we don't think we want that. Now I think I'm just going to get an edge piece and cut a slither just to give that a bit of support coming down the base of that stand. So it'd be interesting to know who already had this on their wish list and if anybody's changed their mind. And then we'll have that coming over the top. So we'll have a couple of dimensionals this end and a couple that end. There we go. Life's a beautiful journey, and at some point I'll put a mat in the middle and add in thank you for being a part of mine. So there's a couple of different cards to add in to those cards that we had earlier that were sort of a bit more using the colours of the papers, and then the cards that we used our old world embossing fold up for. But just a really lovely stamp set and die and papers and bundle and you need to get yours. Yes, scrapbooking, and yeah, just brilliant for scrapbooking, Sally, absolutely. Okay, so time for lunch. See you all 2:30.